Welcome to News West 9's West Texas View with Johnny Lou Avery.
Welcome to the West Texas View. I'm Johnny Lou Avery. And last Sunday, you met Terry Stewart and Patrick Ramsey from the Samaritan Counseling Center. And I've asked them to come back today because we want to talk to you more about what the Samaritan Counseling Center is and the value of it in this Permian Basin area. Terry Stewart is the Director of Development and has been in that position only about a year, but she's very familiar with the history and what great value it has. And then Patrick Ramsey is a licensed professional counselor and supervisor, and he's the clinical director of a large staff of counselors. And we're going to talk about those this time. And Patrick and Terry, welcome back. And let's just start the program, because there's some new viewers that weren't here last Sunday. Let's start the program with your telling a little bit about yourselves and how you got here. Terry, why don't you start?
Like you said, I've only been with Samaritan almost a year now, but I've always been in the nonprofit business as a fundraiser, development, writing grants. I've been in Midland about 5 years. Now that with my children are grown, in fact, my son goes back to the West Point, the military academy in New York on Sunday. So I'm really proud of that. And
she's had a few tears.
Yes, shedding a few tears on that one. But, you know, like you have to, if you are in the nonprofit, it's because of what you believe in. And Samaritan has such an amazing mission. And to be able to go out and sell that mission in order to finance what we do is really an amazing, and I'm very fortunate to have that position.
Great, and I love your enthusiasm. Okay, Patrick, what about you?
Well, I've been here since July 2011, and I moved here, the thought of moving here came with being close to my wife's parents, my in-laws, and they've been very helpful. And of course, they want their grandkids to be there, age 4 and 5.
2, 4, and 5-year-old boys, maybe not as often.
So, yeah, they're growing like weeds. But also, what she mentioned was the mission of Samaritan, and that's to provide faith-based professional counseling, promote healing and wholeness, and then to complement the religious community. And I remember when I began working at Samaritan, part of my intent was to go into ministry, sort of, because I'd been in ministry before as a campus staff worker back when I lived in Wichita, Kansas. And so it felt like I was doing that again, except with my craft.
Combining it with
counseling. So, yeah.
Yeah, and talking about the history, for those that are not that familiar with the Samaritan Counseling Center, it started out with faith-based, not denominational-based, but faith-based, because the founder, who is just recently retiring after 40 years of running this nationwide organization, said that, as most doctors do, that your mind and your body have a strong connection, but your mind, body, and spirit are the completion of that. And if you don't understand and treat from all directions, then you're going to miss something.
That's right. Samaritan, they have an annual conference, and they invite all the centers that are affiliated with them to get continuing education and faith-based type help, so the centers are able to contribute to the faith base and learn more about it. Samaritan itself, we are accredited, which means that we follow certain guidelines with Samaritan, one of which is visiting with our other counselors. And when we act as an agency, we do case consultation together and are able to get ideas from the other counselors, sometimes one, sometimes a group of them, on what is best for the client. And so I felt really privileged when I came to Samaritan that I was able to network with these therapists and get different ideas outside myself. And Samaritan requires that for their accreditation, so I think that's a very good quality of service.
And one of the things that Samaritan Counseling Center nationwide has been really known for, and the reason it's had such a growth and stability is because it's not looking for you to make a confession of faith or to be a member of a certain church, but just to understand that this spiritual aspect will be nurtured.
Absolutely.
Just as will be the physical and mental side of
Well,
it.
and what we do, we actually have on our intake forms if people want faith-based counseling, and they can kind of describe what they want if they wish. The other thing that the counselors do to contribute to this is just feel the people out when they come in, and you can kind of tell where they want to go with it. And sometimes we might ask, and sometimes we just might intuit. So, but we do, it allows them to put that faith in their counseling if they would like.
I'm glad you mentioned that, because a lot of times people get scared off when
That's
they hear the
exactly
word
right.
faith-based counseling. And just want to make clear that we're not in there pushing any type of religion or anything like that. It is actually the client's choice whether they want that. So a lot of people get a little, you just
Nervous.
Yes, and you have to be. You cannot. I mean, they would be actually doing it wrong if they were in there pushing some type of religion. So that's not what we do, and I want to make sure people completely understand that.
Well, and we counsel with Christians, we counsel with Jewish people, whoever, atheists, and so anybody can feel completely comfortable that they're going to be respected and nurtured when they come in to see us.
And let's talk about the services, because I've been on the board, I have a little bit of a background about it that many in our audience don't have. But this is relationship and personal problems that need to be addressed. And so we're talking about children's play therapy to get to the root. Talk about some of the services, and we may have to stop for a break and
Sure.
then continue it.
Just interrupt. We have a fully stocked playroom, and so that's available for clients. Toys, dolls, different things that play therapists use. And so there's that available, as well as sand tray. Not many people know about sand tray, but you can actually do a type of therapy where you put things in the sand, and especially trained counselor can get something out of that. You mentioned individual and family therapy. We've got, of course, marriage and couples counseling, which I do quite a bit of. Anxiety and depression, most counselors do those. Grief, spirituality, of course. Since we're faith-based, we can handle the subject of doubt in your faith, or doubt in your church, or kind of
doubt in yourself.
Sure, disillusionment, and some people coming in just need a shift in their thinking. Domestic violence. We've got an alcohol abuse counselor who's a licensed chemical dependency counselor, LCDC. We have,
and that's pretty new, because we haven't always done the
correct
chemical. We're going to have to take a break right now. We're going to come back in just a minute and continue this conversation. Join us in just a minute.
Stay tuned. West Texas View will be right back.